You've been given an opportunity to give your presentation and you want to ace it. How do you do that? Well, it starts with an incredible introduction. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 ways in which you can captivate your audience from the first word. Hello, my name is Brenda and I'm the creator and founder of Public Speaking Masterclass. Welcome to this video. I help professionals develop speaking confidence and articulation that helps them to stand out and get promoted wherever they go. Have you ever been in a restaurant where you've heard some great reviews, but you want to experience it for yourself? You get to the entrance of the restaurant and you're greeted by a warm and friendly hostess. You get inside, the music is just right, the lighting is beautiful, the ambiance is just incredible. And you go and you sit down and you're looking at your menu when they offer you a beautiful, tantalizing little amuse-bouche. You're not quite sure how it's going to taste, but when you put it in your mouth, it is mouth-watering, it's tantalizing, it's flavorful. It even has something in there that you cannot quite figure out what it is. You finish that little bite and you feel like, I cannot wait for more, because this one little mouthful has been so good that I know that anything I'm going to order on this menu is going to be just as good. That's what your introduction should do when people are introduced to you. An introduction is like you setting the tone for the whole presentation that you're going to give. That means that you should make sure that your presentation has a way of having people be curious and be engaged and wondering what is going to come next, because you've made the beginning of this presentation so fascinating already. So how do you go about doing that? Here are 3 ways that you can start making sure that every time you give your presentation, the introduction is setting the right tone for the people who are going to be listening. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so that you get all of the latest videos on how to improve your speaking. I intend on making sure that you are equipped for every presentation to be ready, confident, and articulate as you give your presentations and your speeches. One of the first things you want to do as soon as you walk on stage is to acknowledge the people in the room that have asked you to be a speaker at this event. If you are in a really formal setting, make sure you start by acknowledging the most senior person who is in that room, whether it's the president of your company, whether it's the prime minister. Make sure that you introduce them first and you say Prime Minister or Mr. President, and then you go on and you mention all the other people who are the dignitaries in that room. And then of course, mention everyone as well. If it's a less formal setting, you can just go ahead and say thank you to the host who has asked you to come in and who has probably introduced you. And after you have done that, then you set the scenery of what it is that you're about to say. The first way to captivate your audience from the first word is to tell a riveting story. Say something that is personal or something that is inspiring that people can connect with. Whenever you tell a story, it is the most incredibly powerful way of helping your audience to connect with what you're saying. All of us have stories, and when you share your story, other people get to partake in it, and that makes it so much more engaging and personal to them. It's almost as if that story becomes a part of their story, and when it becomes a part of their story, it becomes memorable, and it's something that possibly they will tell other people because it was that powerful for them. For example, if I were a career coach and I was talking in front of a group of graduating college students and I'm giving them the 5 things not to do on their first interview, I could just give them a list and that might work. But if I give them the scenario of someone who had a really bad interview experience, it becomes so much more real. It becomes something they can hold on to and something that is emotional in a way that can never be taken away from them. So let's just say that I would actually talk about my own personal experience if I were a career coach, and I will talk about the interview steps that I went through and all of the things that I did wrong in graphic detail. They would find it amusing, they would find it horrifying, and they would find it so informative. And all of those three emotions would be things that they would carry with them and know that they're not supposed to do that. And that's a much more powerful way of introducing the subject, but also educating them on what you're going to be sharing with them. Number 2, give a startling statistic on something that you want people to be aware of. If I'm giving something that is drastically shocking for people, it sticks in their minds. Something that is like a stark statement that they would have never thought of or never understood or never heard of will be something that people hold on to. And when you start with something like that, it's going to set the scenario for them to understand that I need to learn something more about this because clearly I didn't know that this is what was going on. For example, if I were a dermatologist and I wanted people to understand all of the things that are going on with their skin, not just with their faces, but with their whole body, and I gave some startling statistic of things that are going on with your body that you're not aware of, specifically that enter through your skin, that would be something that would get people to pay attention. And that's what you want. You want people to be gripped by what you're about to say so that they keep getting engaged by all of the other things that you're going to share with them. The third way that you can captivate your audience from the first word is to give them a thought-provoking question. Ask them something that maybe they had never considered, maybe a different way of seeing something that they had never been given the opportunity to see. If you are able to do that, you have engaged your audience to think, to be curious, to wonder, to imagine. And if they can imagine the question that you are saying and start wondering and thinking and pondering over it for themselves, you have won. Because that means for the rest of your talk, they are going to still be having that question lingering in their hearts as they listen to all the different facts and figures that you're going to be giving them. So let me give you an example of what I mean. What if I were a motivational speaker and I'm speaking to business people, and I want these business people to really start taking bigger risks? And I ask them the question, what if for one day fear did not exist? What would you accomplish in that one day if you knew that fear literally was nowhere near you? It just poof, vanished, and all you had were the opportunities in front of you. What would you do with that one day with no fear? Can you imagine then how people would start having their thoughts churning as you have asked them that question? That's what you want with your introduction. You want to start engaging people in a really powerful way through their thoughts, through their imagination, and through their curiosity. If you can accomplish that with your introduction, you're going to find that the rest of your presentation has been well set up to be received so well by your audience. And that's what you want. You want to start on a good note and to carry that note as you go along with your presentation. I hope these 3 tips were really helpful to you. Make sure you subscribe if you are interested in getting more of these tips that will help you to become a confident and articulate speaker. Thank you so much for joining me, and here's to your success.